but I wasn't really asking myself, what am I in the mood to read today? But discovering for myself what I really am in the mood for reading, or not knowing if other people loved it or hated this book, gave me this kind of thrill that kept me reading. I spent $20 and I bought a bunch of books. This is the kind of thing I needed to find for myself, and I want to share with you a few tips and tricks on how to get excited about reading. And it includes shopping for books, but not in the way that you're thinking. So if you're interested in knowing what's my favorite way of getting out of a reading slump, or to be extra excited about reading, then please watch this video and hopefully you'll find something that will get you excited about reading. Recently, I was in one of those book slumps and I did not know what to do to get out. Because I work at the library, it's easy to get my hands on the latest books, not only because we get them for the library, but because if it's not part of our collection, it's easy to find it in another library. And that is great for some people, but I was reading a lot of books that I was not finishing, 20, 40, 60 pages and DNFing. And even though I know that they're not going to be DNFs forever, it wasn't the right time for me to read those books. And I felt like every time I thought I knew what I wanted to read, I would watch a new video that get me excited about the other new release, and I kind of forget about the one that I was reading at the time. One day I decided to stop by our local Goodwill store, which is pretty far away from us, and it doesn't have an incredible amount of books. But I went into the book corner, I started browsing through the shelves, and I realized that I was getting back the feeling of discovering something for myself. There's a great benefit of somebody recommending something to you because they've done it, because they've read it, because they liked it. But there's something to be said about you discovering yourself something that just catches your attention. So I started to go through those shelves and getting these butterflies in my stomach that said, oh my gosh, this is what I want to do. And it wasn't about shopping, but it was about being there, discovering a new story for myself, looking at the book covers, reading the synopsis and saying, is this something that I would personally read? Is this the atmosphere that I like? Is this the kind of book that I like? And I started throwing books in my cart, and I left Goodwill. I spent $20 and I bought a bunch of books that I got home, and I was so excited to start reading. As I started reading these books, it was this thing of being curious about them. Some of these books I've never read from any of the authors before. I've never heard about that particular book. But once I started reading it, it was almost like the not knowing where this book was going, or not knowing if other people loved it or hated this book, gave me this kind of thrill that kept me reading, because I really did want to know where it was going and where it was taking me with the story. And it really got all the sparks in me and the butterflies in my stomach that got me excited at not only reading, but discovering for myself what I really am in the mood for reading, because I was following the advice of people that were reading these other books and maybe new releases, but I wasn't really asking myself, what am I in the mood to read today? And I think that's how I found all these books at Goodwill that I've never heard about. And I'm going to give you a few examples, but I have a review of The Last Woman in the Forest by Diane Le Bequette. I'm sure I'm butchering her last name, but this was a book that I have a review on my channel, link on the top of the screen if you want to watch it. But I discovered this book thanks to just browsing my the aisles of Goodwill, I also found some books that I would have never picked up, and maybe not even given a second thought, because of the people that I follow online probably don't read this kind of thing. But I found A Painted House by John Grisham, and this is a very popular author, but I didn't get it because he's a popular author, but because I read what it was about, and it got me excited. And if I can get that excitement, that feeling in my heart, I know it's going to be one of those books that I will start and finish and not even look at the ratings on Goodreads before I decide if it's worth my time or not. I also found some fantasy books like this one, Once Upon a River. I talked to somebody about it and like, oh yeah, that's a very popular book. Never heard of it, because the people I follow on social media, this is probably not the kind of book that they read. And I started reading this, and oh my gosh, it's like a feeling. I can't even explain it. This has the atmosphere I like in books. It is raining, it is the middle of winter, it is dark, they're by the river, and what happens, how it opens this book is like, I read the synopsis, it sounded amazing, but once I started reading this book, I'm like, see, this is the kind of thing I needed to find for myself, and I didn't need to hear from anybody to recommend it to me. And I totally understand that this is going to be a channel where I'm going to be reviewing some of these books, and I will share with you my likings and not likings, and why the reviews that I give, why they are. But at the same time, it's been such an amazing, thrilling feeling in my heart that it got me so excited about reading not only my typical thrillers, but also kind of trying to find more genres, more things. Another thing that it helped me do is finding some of those popular books that I really wanted to read, like The Beast of Extraordinary Circumstances. I heard great things about that. This is a book of the month book, and I got it for, this is $3.99, but it was on sale for half price. I think it was 50% off. I found A Flicker in the Dark, and I found some other ones that I will share with you in another video where I'm going to do a haul. But it really comes down to getting that excitement back in me and getting me so excited about reading, that I'm not only reading all these things that I'm discovering for myself, but also some of the classics that people do love and that I want to read because they're being recommended over and over again. And there's also this other part where it's kind of helping me be accountable for what I'm purchasing it and what I'm bringing into my house, and that goes for book of the month too. I got 2 books for the month of July, and I have reviews on House of Glass, and I have a review on Incidents Around the House. I'll link those videos down below and on the top of the screen. But by doing this and reading things that I'm excited about, it also got me excited about reading the things I'm picking for other things like book of the month. And it really got me thinking that if I'm not able to finish my book of the month each month, or if I order 2 or 3 books from book of the month in a particular month, I need to finish those books in that particular month. And that way I can not only decide if the subscription is for me or not, or if just going through what really catches my attention on a shelf is what I need to do. And again, there's nothing wrong with book shopping. That's a different thing from book reading. Those 2 separate things. Book shopping is not the same as book reading, and they're different hobbies. So some people go overboard with the shopping but don't read it. But in this case, my advice is go and read the synopsis. And if you can, go to a used bookstore or go to your local thrift store, Goodwill, whatever, and you're gonna find books that are available there. If you go to Barnes and Noble, you can find whatever you want, and it kind of defeats the purpose of this excitement about finding something that nobody recommended to you, but you just stumble upon. And it's been such a great thing in my life, and it's been so exciting to be this excited about reading and to find new authors, to find new books, to find new genres that I'm excited about, that I thought that sharing these tips with you and helping you get your excitement back, it's also going to bring some joy to my life as well. So if you can, if you have them nearby, or if you're going to make a trip because you're a little down, maybe you're in a reading slump and you want to get that thing, at least this is what worked for me. And it really got me so excited about reading that I think you should try it as well. So thank you for being here today, guys. I truly appreciate you coming back. If you're new, please remember to subscribe. I do have some book reviews. I have playlists down below. I have TBRs. I have my monthly wrap up, and all those things will be linked down below if you want to see what books I've been reading, what I've been liking. It will all be there. So thanks again for being here. I'll talk to you guys next time.